Yeah, just a quick review, the DHC Labs Warming Arthritis Pain Relief Roll-On. So why would you consider using something like this? I mean, why would you buy it and try it? Well, if you're having pain, obviously, if you're having any kind of muscular pain or pain coming from the joints, those would be good examples of why you would want to use this. Like, say, for instance, you helped a friend move over the weekend, and you woke up Monday morning and you're like, oh, my back muscles are all in knots. That's one example. Another example is maybe you have more chronic condition, like you have, say, knee pain, knee arthritis. It can be a long-term problem causing you pain. That's something that you could try this for. So what's in it? I mean, how does this stuff work? Well, anytime you're considering using something like this, you need to ask yourself one question. What are the active ingredients, okay? So what's an active ingredient? Well, it's any ingredient that has a direct biological effect or pharmacological activity in your body. In other words, these are the ingredients in this product that do the heavy lifting and really make it work. So in the case of this DHC Labs Warming Arthritis Pain Relief Roll-On, that main active ingredient is capsaicin. It has 0.1% capsaicin. So how exactly does that work? Well, it works in several different ways to decrease pain. One way is that it activates this TRPV1 receptors. And the other thing is it's just had through the process like desensitization. Because when you put this stuff on, you get like this burning sensation that kind of like excites the nerves, and eventually they become like a little desensitized, and you reduce the whole pain signal process. So the question is it permanent relief or is it temporary relief? Well, I think there are actually instances where this does get permanent relief. Let's say, go back to the example, you're helping a friend move and your back muscles are really tight and sore. A lot of times when muscles are, you have this thing going on called the pain spasm pain cycle. So your muscles get painful, then they kind of, go into spasm. And the spasm actually causes more pain, and then the pain causes more spasm. What you have is this thing called the pain spasm pain cycle. So you can actually break that up by using this once or twice. So you roll it on, it gets rid of the pain, interrupts that whole cycle. Then that's pretty much the end of it. May have to do that a couple times, but here again, I think that's one of the cases, muscular especially, where you do get more permanent relief. Unfortunately, conditions like knee arthritis are more long-term chronic conditions. So using this might be just you put it on, helps temporarily, but a little while you're back where you started. However, I think there are cases where you can actually use this to actually get permanent relief, but you have to do a couple things. So the first thing is you have to use a multi-pronged treatment approach. One thing won't cut it. So let's say take knee arthritis. You put this stuff on, only works temporarily. Okay, whatever. Well, what else works with knee arthritis? Okay, exercise. We all know exercise is a proven treatment for knee arthritis. You make your knee stronger. You make it more flexible. It's going to work better. It's going to perform better. You're going to get more joint stability, and likewise, your pain levels are going to go down. But hey, you can't do that now. So what you do is this: you go ahead and you get some of this and you put it on your knee. Pain levels go down. Now you have an opportunity. Now your knee feels good enough to do some exercises. So for instance, and you don't have to do very many. I'll take knee arthritis, for example. This is from Bulletproof Your Knee book. You would do an exercise to strengthen your quadriceps muscle. So your quadriceps muscle is like this big muscle on the top of your leg. It's the main stabilizer of your knee joint. So what they find is when people have knee arthritis, that muscle is unusually weak. And sometimes they do cross-sectional CT scans of the knee, and they look at the cross-sectional area of the muscle, and they find it's actually smaller than normal. But most studies are just showing that it's weaker. And actually, just about any problem you can name with your knee, I can show you a study where researchers have found just the quadriceps muscle in your leg is really the big weak muscle group. So here's an example. Another study demonstrated that even if you have as little as 20 milliliters of fluid in your knee, which is just over a tablespoon, it's enough to decrease the strength of your quadriceps muscle. So if you have any kind of swelling in your knee, acute or chronic, it's going to have a tendency to make your quadriceps muscle get weak. ACL ligament injuries, ACL anterior cruciate ligament, you've heard of that, posterior cruciate ligament, medial collateral ligament. These studies are all finding with these various knee problems, just the quadriceps muscle for some reason takes a big hit when you're having all those problems. Knee arthritis, we already covered that. If you Google knee arthritis and quadriceps strength, you're going to find just about every study showing you that that if you have knee arthritis, you're going to have some quad weakness. Matter of fact, there's even one study showing that the people with the stronger quads have least progression of their knee arthritis. So you've got a lot of reasons. If you have any kind of knee problem or just pain, some idiopathic knee pain, to do a strengthening exercise for your quads. Other things you can do, optimize knee flexibility. We all know your knee has to be able to bend and straighten. A lot of people don't know your knee actually rotates. So about the last 10 to 15 degrees of extension, that's you straightening your leg, your knee actually rotates laterally or out to the side. Here's a little test to see if you have that. It's called an accessory motion, and to have a fully functioning knee, you got to have all your motion there. That's all your accessory motions working. There's other things you can do too, like proprioception, which is your position sense. They're doing a lot of research now on proprioception, finding that people with knee problems have decreased proprioception. But anyway, lots of things you can do. You can't do them now because your knee hurts. You put on something like this, knee pain goes down. Now you can do these exercises. Those will give you week by week as your knee gets stronger, more flexible. Proprioception goes up, that kind of stuff. Week by week, as that happens, your pain levels are going to go down. So there you go. Good product. Check it out.